that, MegaShaun, and I think what's also important to note here is that everybody wants to be represented properly. I think that's very important. And actually, today, a news report or a news release was given by Marvel Studios, talking about the Ancient One casting controversy. And Adobo Girl, I want you to chime in, seeing as how you and Kahuna are both of Asian descent, even though he's Polynesian, but his descendants are from Asia. Doesn't matter. Um, but Marvel says, and this is their release. They quote: Marvel has a very strong record of diversity in its casting of its films and regularly departs from stereotypes and source material when to bring its MCU to life. The Ancient One is a title that is not exclusively held by any one character, rather a moniker passed down, and in this particular film, the embodiment is Celtic. We are very proud to have the enormously talented Tilda Swinton portray this unique and complex character alongside our richly diverse cast. Now, what I want to ask the both of you is, do you find what Marvel released is a conveniently placed cop out, because they were trying to put a bit of a PR spin and trying to, I guess, fight back against the what they view as a potential problem, or do you think they could have worked a little bit harder to make the Ancient One still of Asian descent, but not stereotypical in any way? Hey, Kahuna, I'll ask you a follow-up question, and it'll be very important. Go ahead, Adobo.
Okay, but 1 second. I have a question.
Yes.
You said before in regards to the being a stereotype. I've always wondered, what is that like? What does that mean? Like, I understand the stereotypical black person, Asian person, but if it's somebody in their element, like I would just like a better explanation, if possible, of what you're referring to when you say stereotypical.
Well, it wasn't me. That was directly Marvel's quote. But to I'm going to try and explain what I think they're trying to say. What they mean by stereotype is, we all know stereotypes are sort of born in truths. People's, repeated experiences with people of certain cultures. And it's always been stereotypical that the martial arts or the mystic arts have been heavily represented in the Asian nation. Um, Typically, whether it be like Tibet, because, like, go back to like the Golden Child or anything like that, when it's got something to do with Asian mysticism, it's in Tibet. And the Asian one has always been a Tibetan man. Now they're trying to flip the script and say, well, the Ancient One is really just a title that's passed from individual to individual. He takes on different forms, and this one just happens to be a Celtic woman. Uh, so they're trying to not be stereotyped or not be
Okay.
stereotypical, and
Okay.
possibly offend people in Tibet or Asia.
Well, okay. Well, I apologize for interrupting you. I apologize for taking Adobo Girl and Cisco's time, but that's bullshit. This isn't this isn't somebody making fun of a Chinese guy's eyes or mocking people at a nail salon. This isn't having a person of Asian descent be a cop in LA and he's doing karate. This is a man in his element. It always blows my mind how Hollywood finds it convenient to play the stereotypical role when it's in their element. How the hell is How the hell is Tom Cruise the Last Samurai? You see what I'm saying?
Well,
They're
well,
like,
well,
no,
well, well,
no, wait,
well,
Tom
well,
Cruise is
well,
no,
not the
well.
but
last samurai.
but
Right.
but,
And if
but
you
listen,
watch the movie, you
but
can
listen.
tell Ken
But,
Watanabe was the last samurai.
but what I'm saying
Tom
is,
Cruise not.
it's the perception.
It is the
Listen, you're
perception.
not.
I
D,
get you.
listen to me. I hear what you're saying. It's the perception. Tom Cruise is on the box cover. He's on the box cover, and it says "Last Samurai." I
Yeah,
understand
see
what
what
you're
I see what you're
saying,
talking about.
but it's the perception. So playing a Tibetan man in Tibet, that's not a stereotype. He's in Tibet. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're mocking him out of his element. That's like being like, for example, whenever they use movies and they're in Africa, for some reason we're always slaves or not well to do, and then you always have this well dressed white guy who happens to be the man in charge. Like that would be going towards a stereotype if it's in a negative light or in a negative connotation. If you're uplifting somebody based on what they do, having a Tibetan master or a monk and they're dressed like that in that situation, yes. But if it's a regular day thing and you're like, hey, Bruce Lee, instead of being you, can you play guy who owns nail salon or like, yeah, that would be a stereotype. But if it's necessarily shining a light on your ancestry, like it makes me laugh how they find a way
I totally buy. I
to
totally
use
I
that.
totally